540, Big 550, KTRS. A couple minutes with Larry from First Rule Film and Technology. Good morning, Larry.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Morning.
Tech-wise, what do we got going on today?
Well, there wasn't any huge single story, so this week we're just going to kind of look at some of the big headlines, and
All
we'll
right.
see which ones we get interested in. So first thing I'd like to talk about, there was an interesting pen announced this week. I know that's weird, right? An actual writing utensil, not like
a pen.
A pen, an
Okay.
actual pen.
Yeah.
And so what this is called Scribble, and it's a pen actually designed for artists and people that do a lot of drawing. Not me, I can't draw stick figures if my life depended on it. But what's neat about it is it has a sensor on the back of it, and you point this sensor at anything in the real world, whether it's this desk or it's my shirt or anything like that, and it instantly matches that color, and then the pen draws in that color.
That is
It's
so
phenomenally
crazy.
interesting, and not just like blue or gray. It actually draws in the exact gray.
So if I have a scratch on my furniture and I want to match the grain, I
You could
can
match the grain in theory and then draw over that scratch, and it's exactly the same color. So it has a series of inks in there that mix it properly into the pen.
How
and
much is the
literally a
cartridge?
sensor.
$8,000?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
There's pre-order right now. The actual pen itself is $249, so it's an expensive pen.
Yes.
But if you're an artist, I imagine this is really useful.
Wow.
Or even in that case, where I want to match a color in real life, like a paint
Right.
or
Yeah.
a veneer or something
It
like
can
that.
work for you, for maybe.
Yeah.
Really
Perfect.
fascinatingly interesting.
That's
You
really
put it up
cool.
against anything.
Against
any kind of
anything.
material, any.
Yeah, so basically it combined a sensor that can read the color of anything and give you the exact color, and then some sort of device in the pen that actually makes that exact color come out of the pen when you get to write it.
Wow, all right.
So really just a fascinating bit of tech where you don't really see tech innovating in pens, which is kind of crazy. But so that was the first story. Second story, last week we talked a lot about robots.
Yes.
And I'm not going to take us too far down the robot path again, but we did have some interesting stories in Bloomberg and other this week where there was a company making something called the K5 security robot. These are robots that are about 400 pounds that kind of look like a large elongated R2-D2. It's kind of a long cylinder,
Right.
and it's meant to replace security guards. Literally, they are constantly recording, and they're supposed to go around parking lots, and they've showed them, actually, this is something that actually exists. It's not vaporware. And it's done by a lot of law enforcement people that made this robotics company. And it's meant to patrol your parking lots, constantly looking at license plates, recording that information, saying if anything's out of the ordinary, obviously alarming if anybody breaks into something or anything like that. But it's an interesting use of the robotic technology. And
That
you
is
mentioned last
crazy.
time how, the government was warning about certain jobs being at risk.
Right.
Well, I think the people just sitting out there monitoring a parking lot are probably one of the first
Security
people to go
guards
with
might be
this
the
sort of
first ones gone.
technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting use of technology.
I'm
We'll
surprised
see
they don't
where
have
it comes
something like that
through.
for the airport, right? Why have humans in the airports? Why don't just walk through something where they can...
What was really interesting about seeing this was what the robot was seeing when it's going down the parking lot, or in that case, when people are going through security. It's sitting there picking out every license plate number. It's sitting there picking out facial recognition snaps of everyone that's in there in
Right.
case, it knows the
I
people that are
can't
around.
imagine we're not too far away from just being able to walk into an airport single file and have them be able to sort of check everything.
Wouldn't necessarily have to be single file. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It really, in that case, isn't a technical limitation. It's really just a people limitation and a government limitation.
Right.
So,
All right.
interesting stuff. All right, moving right along. This one really, really excites me. So I've talked about VR, probably to the point to which virtual reality. To
Virtual
the point
reality.
you guys are probably sick of it. But the really interesting thing is this 2 days ago, the best VR headset that's coming out for consumers went on pre-order and went on sale, shipping in 2 months. And I happened to get a pre-order.
That's right, because you
So-
dressed up as your favorite virtual reality star and waited online.
So I will tell you here in May, when we get the first shipment of the HTC Vive, I will bring it in and we'll do a demo here on the show, let you see it and get to experience it. So it's $799 for this
Yes.
setup. So it is somewhat expensive for this first bit of new tech. But it includes not only the really insanely good visor, but also hand controllers, so that in virtual reality, it can map your hands.
Of course.
So it knows exactly where your hand. If you think about like Iron Man, and he's sitting there, Tony, Stark sitting there messing with all the stuff in his workshop that is in virtual space in front of him. You could actually do that now because you'll have hand controllers.
Wow.
It's really cool. I know you guys don't believe me, but wait until I bring it in and show you.
Oh, I believe you.
Oh man,
I believe you.
It's something pretty awesome.
All right, anything else you got there?
Well, just really quickly, a smaller Echo you remember Amazon's Echo? It was the first tech segment we did here.
Was that the one where you say, what time is it? And it tells you
Yeah,
what
it's a
time it
little
is?
box that
Yeah.
Amazon make, and you can ask it any
yes.
question. It's just sitting there
Yes.
putting stuff on your Amazon list. They've just released 2 new Echoes. One of them that's cheaper. It's $129. That's a smaller version of it.
Love that.
And then an $89 thing called the Echo Dot. That's really just meant as a control station for your Echo if you already have it. So pretty interesting. And then
If you wait long enough,
very
I'll be
finally,
cheaper.
Dubai is about to host the world's first drone Grand Prix on March 11 with over 100 teams participating in an American Idol-style qualifiers between March 7th and March 8th.
Gotta love
That's
ya.
going to be really crazy.
Larry, thanks for coming in. Have a good weekend.
Anytime.
And wait patiently for your virtual reality world
gonna be fun.
to come in. Larry's still dealing into the real world, but not for that much longer. 8:46, Mike Huckabee has a